Speaking at RUSI in London, Sir Mark Allen outlined the West's dependence on oil for energy.
Since the early 70s, we have, I think, been taking oil for granted, and that's because energy is essential, in the proper meaning of that word, to our civilization. Our mobility, our heat, our light, entirely depends on energy. And only recently, of late, have we started worrying about whether there's enough energy to go around, whether we'll get our fair share of it. And recently, we've even had to start worrying whether our use of energy isn't itself existentially dangerous.
A key concern in the West today is, of course, continuing supplies in the future.
And our anxiety isn't ill-founded. Oil is not so predictable, rational, scientific, and technological as it might seem. Many so-called energy facts derive from very fine and recondite judgments, or from the official reporting of governments who are not given to frankness. We have to read the packet carefully. There's a disturbing lack of transparency in official information about oil. And at a distance, the price of oil seems about as reliable as mood swings.
For many Arab states, a key issue is the growth of population and the need to find them work using oil revenues.
The region as a whole needs to create as many jobs in the next 15 years as it has in the last 50. And that projection does not include an increasing demand driven by women who want to realize and fulfill their educations in work. These figures illustrate a number of pressures, but importantly, in my view, a disturbing overhang of postponed action to secure the non-oil economy and the private sector and to ensure their international competitiveness whilst creating work for the young.
He also felt that with growing demands of citizens in petrostates, it was crucial to find ways to stop fluctuations in oil prices.
As forward defense, Middle Eastern regimes are now trying to establish a floor for oil prices to cover regime expenditure and promote stability for investment planning. And this can only be done by restricting supply. It'll entail some tough talking in OPEC between members whose circumstances vary very greatly and whose political interests differ sharply, like Iran and Saudi Arabia. And I think there must be a high probability that OPEC discipline will be patchy, and oil prices will prove as difficult to forecast and manipulate during a downturn as they have in the past.
As oil continues to play a dominant role in global energy, it's vital the West maintains its diplomatic ties with the region to ensure both supply and to help Arab states stabilize oil prices.